still walking to the Tooth and Hookah.
Okay, all right. So everybody's on their way to the Tooth and Hookah. This is juicy. I love the fact that there's
So
a
we bought the scabbard and I got my armor back, right?
How long?
Yeah.
Wait, did he make the scabbard just on the spot?
It will take a day.
Okay.
It will take a day. He said it's relatively easy, but he'll have to requisition some proper holders for a medium-sized greatsword, and he'll ask the local smith for it. He said it won't take him long, but he's backed up at this point. Since the necropolis is opened, the blacksmith is seeing a significant amount of work coming through, and
hey, that
it's gonna take some
economic stimulus package worked out real well.
Actually,
way to go, Zanzifar's dad.
Yeah, that was the entire point, was that it was believed that opening up the necropolis would stimulate the economy locally, so. Especially since this particular necropolis had the most rapport. It had the most reputation, and believed that it had potentially the rarest of goods.
I'm a fool. I should have bought portions of businesses around town before they got big. I still could. Abasi saw beer back. He's got to go buy some inns.
Still technically good. So, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go ahead and put you guys back in the Tooth and Hookah. It's entirely up to you what you do from this point, but it's still relatively early afternoon, right? You left at about 9 from the Tooth and Hookah. You traveled around town to do some sales, also to arrange getting repairs and equipment. We'll say that took about 2 hours, puts you at about 11 o'clock. You moved to Mender's Row and spoke with her for around 45 minutes to an hour, putting you at noon. And then you debated for about an hour. So it's still about 1 p.m. if that was your collective clock. It's still early day. You know, that night you're meeting with the surviving groups out of the necropolis. You have lots of day ahead of you. But I'll put you back in the Tooth and Hookah. And you can tell me if there's anything you would like to do.
Pilakka wants to grab some, like, fish or something all along the way. Sure. Some, like, vendor fish, smoked, raw, whatever.
Sure. You will be able to find that with ease. Since you're just off of the river, I mean, a lot of the local fishermen, there's only a handful that are quite capable because you still have to battle the crocodiles. But of those that are lucky, they're fairly wealthy when it comes to supporting fish to the economy. So, I'm going to move you back to your tavern theme. Early day, people have started to arrive at the Tooth and Hookah. You'll see that Farhan is steadily busy. Plumes of smoke begin rising from the Tooth and Hookah. Various colors, various scents follow foot. There are no daggers in the door. There is no ill will upon entrance. You see that the stabbed plank of wood has been placed downward, and it seems as if he has something temporarily masking the greatsword plunge in the floor. He nods to each of you as you come in, not individually, but as collectively as a whole group. What do you intend to do?
I retire to my chambers, or nest, or lair, or whatever, and start trying to work on recuperating my my disguise energy that I've used while I was out.
Disguise energy, love it.
Anything else from the lot of you? Are you also going upstairs? Do you wish to speak with Farhan? Perhaps you would like to peddle with some of the collectors that sit at these tables.
I'm going to go and play some music.
Curiously enough, did Neferani dispatch of the tiny stone?
No.
Still have it. Okay.
No one wants to smooch.
You could wait till people get drunk at the Tooth and Hookah and just take advantage of that.
You're reading my... Well, no. Consensual rock passing.
Take advantage of that. No.
Well, yeah, consensual rock passing. Take advantage of the situation, but not the person.
Correct.
I can magic people into it, but I'm upstairs.
Phrasing.
No,
right.
phrasing, yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to see a magic trick?
Suddenly I will be able to move twice as fast as I did previously. Okay. You wish to play some music. Will you be joining the musicians on hand?
Well, I'm assuming it's open. Like, I wouldn't be like, move, like Nick Burnsing it or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. No,
Open mic night.
it is relatively open. You will see that there are some instruments on stage, but it appears that they're taking a bit of a break, or they're in preparation for just arriving. Not many patrons are here, but you still see that there is a slight crowd. The Tooth and Hookah has a fairly good reputation in the city. Would you like to perform?
Yes, I would.
Okay, give me a perform, actually.
A perform or bardic performance? Doesn't matter.
Just a flat perform. You should be getting your bardic levels added to your perform anyway because of that.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, but if you'd like to reroll, you're more than...
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay.
No.
I'll reroll. I don't want to reroll the 28.
The nat 20.
Neferani, all right, so this is where I kind of pass the narrative to you. You have critically succeeded, for all intents and purposes. You've rolled well beyond. You are just kind of in your element. You're comfortable here. You've been here for a few days now. And you bring out the bongos and you begin playing to them. What does this look like? Describe this situation. This is your forte, so have at it.
So I guess she'll get up on the stage and she'll just get really super into it. She's had, like, it's been a really weird week. Has it only been a week in 17 weeks? And it's like a week outside figuring out where we're going. She's just gonna she kind of gets lost in it, playing the bongos. Is just like you hear.
Perfect.
It's really kind of a perfect track.
It is.
Right.
It is.
So yeah, she just gets really lost in it, and I would say she's I don't know, probably as into it as she's ever been. She's really energized from what she went through with, as well as being really exhausted. So it's a weird combination of basically my real life.
Okay. All right. All right. So
Too real.
roll for me a profession.
Stay a while and listen.
Okay, that is not super exceptional, at least compared to what you did roll.
I'm just gonna re-roll it because why
got it.
not? I have 5. That's better.
You got it. It's a little early in the day still, but it's not short of what some would say is a pretty incredible experience. They'd heard that the catfolk of the area were talented with instruments, but they never really heard it before. But you sit down and you play a quite a masterful performance. Not expecting it, you find that people are enjoying these moments. Most of them are either tapping their feet, bobbing their heads, and enjoying the hookah or the meals they have in front of them. Some of the patrons will come forward and they'll throw coin into whatever you happen to have at the moment, be it a bag. What, like, are you collecting money, or how are you handling that?
Absolutely, yeah. Some sort of I have to assume there'd be like a spare cup on the that some musician had been finished using for their tips, and I would just kind of scoot it over in front of me before I started.
Sure. Okay. You'll do just that. And let's see here. We'll say that you're able to collect in the ballpark of around 30 coppers. You'll pick about 10 silver, and one patron in particular will move over. He seems to be a bit wealthier than the others. Is an older man. Give me a memory test. Give me a wisdom roll.
Oh shit.
Neferani, you've seen him before. You can't quite place it, but you've definitely seen this man before. He seems very out of place considering the surroundings. Since most of the people here are merchants or they're adventurers in their own right, this man seems to be of a very different caste. Borderline noble, if you would have to guess. Can't quite pin where you've seen him, though. He has this look of happiness about him, but there's something that hides behind the eyes. There's a sorrow. And he drops 5 gold into your cup. He returns to his seat, which is at a table, and he seems to be waiting. There is one man near him, which looks to be a bit closer in resemblance to a guard. He seems to be waiting for someone.
Thought we only knew one noble man.
Do I mean, I think I know who it is, like me. But do I? Am I? See, I'm trying to. Do I notice? Like, I guess I would hear the audible difference when someone putting that much gold in the cup.
You would see it. Remember, there is sun spoils coming in through the lattice above, and it will catch. Silver glints in a certain way, and so does copper, but gold is illuminating. You still have an opportunity to reroll your wisdom if you like. The DC is 15 for an immediate memory. You thought you had it. It was on the tip of the tongue.
No, I don't know that.
And then it just came out as nothing. You got nothing.
I'll kind of, I guess I'll stop and look up and just keep playing, but watch him for a little bit.
Sure. In that brief pause before the song continued, you notice him, and he'll have cast you that nod in appreciation for your talent. What are the others doing? I know the Pilakka's upstairs. Are you guys just standing there as NPCs?
Donkor would probably more likely be standing toward like the steps, just watching as Neferani's playing, trying to figure out what everyone else is planning first before he makes a decision. Because he doesn't have anything in particular that he needs to get done.
Okay. And Abasi.
Find a location in the corner where my back is up against walls and I could observe the entire room. Because I know that later tonight, other people are coming to meet us here, and there's quite a few people that still want to kill us.
Sure.
But I'm feeling better now that my armor's fixed.
Ronan, you have no one babysitting you. This is your opportunity to set everything on fire and eat anything that is edible.
I 100% would walk up to the stage as soon as I see her take out the bongos. I would almost stab my sword in the ground, and then I'd look at what's his face? Hold on. Farhan.
Yeah.
And I'd look at him, and then I'd set it down gently against the stage. And then
the moment that like you've kind of got your grips on it, you like flourish it around to stab it in the ground, and you like look over it. He's just going.
Oh my god, he's the meme.
I just look at him, and then I'm just like.
And it goes back to preparing.
I'm front row, like dancing and shit. Like,
okay.
I'm into it.
Oh, okay. Give me a perform,
dude. This is gonna be horrible.
Oh, how into it is he?
This is amazing already.
Waiting for the nat 20, and he just jumps up onto the bar.
He just keeps.
How do you roll a 0?
3 minus 3.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. You are basically Elaine from Seinfeld. Go. Right?
Yeah, no, I
100%.
So, this is similarly as I did with Neferani. I'm gonna pass this to you in your court. You have no dancing skill whatsoever.
I literally immediately thought the 0 as Elaine from Seinfeld. Like, just.
Can you?
You got it.
As awkward as shit.
All right.
From the other side of the room, you can hear Abasi's head as it hits the table.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it's possible. Imagine if he would have critically failed. It would have been a -2. Well, my friend, you are not inciting any happiness in most individuals. In fact, some of them actually question whether or not you need a medical professional.
He's seizing.
No, it's called crumping.
I'm crumping, Mom.
You actually, you would notice, Nef, that despite the performance that you've laid out before them, how masterful it is, that people are starting to turn away. They're looking away from your performance. It's actually drawing away from your own skill.
His negative is a detriment to your nat 20.
I, however, find this utterly charming.
Do you say anything to him? Do you call out over your music?
I'm gonna like encourage him. Just, I think this is fantastic. You know why? He looks happy.
Is that what that is? I can't tell. He's just all teeth and ugly.
Right? Well, it's more teeth than usual.
He's either.
I never thought I'd see a goblin Fortnite default dance so poorly.
Oh my god, Can you T-pose? Are you flossing and slapping people in the face
Assert
with shit?
dominance, Ryu. Assert dominance.
I'm sort of asserting dominance over the entire dance floor, so much that people are leaving
Hey,
the Tooth and Hookah.
because they feel like they can't do what you do.
I like to think that he's
That is
borderline simulating the Beavis and Butthead. Like he has one leg up on a chair and he's just like pelvic thrusting into the air. And people are just like, what the fuck is this thing doing?
That makes it so worse because he's doing that in front of Neferani. And she's like, yeah!
Get him, little buddy! It's good!
Good job.
Roller coaster.
Yeah! That's the exact scene I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Beavis is just like shadow boxing. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time.
This is yeah.
I love it. People are I don't even know how to explain this. It's bizarre. I've never seen a crowd more interested in the music, yet completely turning away from the sight.
This is what happens when a 75-year-old man plays the bongos in the nude. He's got the experience, and damn, does it sound good. But as soon as you cross that threshold into the Tooth and Hookah, ooh, mistakes.
Yeah. How long will you play, Misty? I'm curious.
Probably like
Stay a while and listen.
like 15 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
How
like
long
this.
will there be dancing?
As long as she plays.
20 minutes.
He's
right.
gonna be dancing well after.
Dance solo.
Oh,
Acapella.
Can I get a fortitude?
Rote singing.
Fortitude
A
save.
fortitude, yeah. Let's see if you wear yourself out here.
Oh my god,
A
that's
fortitude
amazing.
save from the audience so they don't be sick. 0.
I'm re-rolling that.
Oh.
No.
I'm not hurting myself on this.
No, that's not what that means.
Fortitude, you just
Rolling
pass.
low doesn't necessarily mean that like it's not like you're suddenly going to get sick. It just means that you're not probably going to last as long as you would hope.
Sorry, it happens to everybody, little
Yeah.
guy.
Oh my god.
Roll.
That's 2 critical failures in a row, my friend.
I'm using it again. I don't care. I have.
If it sixes
Oh,
again,
Three.
Why did everyone die in your party? Well,
Why am I rolling so low?
Our
How
barbarian
many
used
is
all
there?
of our luck rolls.
This
All of
was
his
meant
luck
to be-
rolls.
yeah. So this
One,
is
No, I
Ronan-
still have 2 more.
Ronan, you tuck her out pretty quickly. Like fights aren't something that lasts that long, right? Like fights at best
roll.
last
Like,
like
roll one more time.
go, okay, you do it, guy.
Yeah.
It took the divine grace of God and 3 of his disciples in order to get you to not pass out.
Thank
He
you.
keeps throwing up on himself,
you,
but he's
Chet.
still
Yeah.
dancing.
He just
Thanks
keeps
for-
going.
Thanks for the
I'm on number
reroll.
5.
It's impressive. He should be in a hospital.
Where it looks like after 30 or 40 seconds, he might weather. You see this like almost renewed tenacity about himself. This vigor returned to him. And despite the sweat pouring down his brow, running into his open maw, he just continues angrily thrusting and hands upping in the air and just arm going in weird directions. Doesn't make
Sweat
much
flying
sense.
everywhere.
Yeah. It's people are actually beginning to move away
People are in
from
the
you at
splash
this point.
zone.
They're in the splash zone. By the end of your dance, you are breathing so heavily and so hard that every time you do so, this wave, like almost a wave of drops kind of burst off of your mouth as it's pouring down your brow. But the music will come to a stop. 15 or so minutes in, you feel like you've met everything that you need to. And it will return. You'll see that the original performers on hand, they find this not so much threatening as it is that someone is kind of leaning in on their turf. So they'll come up and they'll immediately begin performing the relative tones. Something they think is a bit more fitting for the people that are here. It's going to calm down. People will return to their normal sitting positions. But they will never quite make eye contact with Ronan.
Ever
Nice.
again.
You notice
I'm
that
not getting.
that
Go
one of the performers on stage looks to you, Neferani, and gives you the eyes. You literally see he breaks away from his lute and goes like this, and then points back at you.
I'm gonna do the same at him.
You see this like almost look of shock, just, And it goes back to performing.
Can I roll intimidate?
Yeah, you totally can.
Holy shit!
Wow. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
The bank all over again. I love it.
The lips kind of furrow tightly so, but
I'm just
I
waiting
just
for her
lean
to
away.
walk up to him and be like, She pulls out a pair of scissors, just cuts his lute strings,
wow.
walks up.
Stage is
I
big
like
enough
that.
for the both of us. Why don't you quit being a little bitch and just cuts all the strings right there.
Walks
I
away.
just walk by, or with my claws, like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I would walk by him and flip a copper into his cup.
Oh, you
Oh.
savage.
Wow.
Going.
You savage. That's perfect. Yeah, he under his he's just continues back to it. His eyes will close to lose sight of you. You've certainly shaken him, but he can't be broken in his moment.
Until she cuts the strings.
He doesn't
No,
quite
it's the
perform
money.
as well as you do. Probably even for the rest of the night. You ruined his groove. He's probably not going to get paid as well tonight, and that's okay. But at least he got the copper, and he'll take it. What now?
I count my money real quick. How much did I get? You said I got 5 from that duder.
5 gold, 30 silver, or excuse me, 30 copper, and I think I said 10 silver, right? I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah, so 5 gold,
Mhm.
10 silver, you said? 30
Yes,
copper?
30 copper.
29 copper. Because I gave
Yes,
that one to him.
cheeky. I like it. It's perfect. It's very in vein and on brand. I like it. Ronan! You've tuckered yourself out, but all you really need is a little cheese and water and you're back in the game. What does this look like now? I'm curious. More than anything, I want to know what Donkor is doing. Because he was the one that explicitly stated he's at the stairs watching this transpire. What would Donkor have done?
Train wreck.
Donkor is I'm gonna roll a perception to see if I saw the guy throwing the gold into Neferani's cup real quick.
Jesus Christ. Donkor walks up front. I need an old priest and a young priest. We can stop this right now.
So I found this meme, and some people might know what this is, but I want to think that I'm the guy chopping the wood, and then Neferani's the guy that's in the jacket in this meme right here. I don't know if you guys have seen that video or that music video right there,
Oh my god.
but I want to think that's me and Neferani.
Oh, I've definitely seen more than my fair share of Casey Free videos. I fucking love his work. It's ridiculous.
I can't.
Or no, not the yellow jacket, the guy in the
Dumb.
hat. Sorry.
Okay, 'cause I was
Oh
like,
my god.
And then Abasi can be the guy that's in the yellow jacket. You're dumb.
You're dumb. The other side of the room.
Donkor, you rolled a perception to see what exactly again? What were you hoping to spot?
The man who dropped the gold in Neferani's cup.
Yeah, you'll see him. I don't think you're going to recognize him, though. I don't think you ever had seen him. The only person that would have seen him up to this point was Neferani.
I know who it is.
Actually,
Yeah, I think I was right.
I know exactly who it
Donkor,
is.
memory test. There was one other time that you guys did see him. Let's see if you can recall. It's going to be challenging.
It's a wisdom, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
No.
remember that real quick.
Okay?
Nope. And there we go.
That one's enough. That one's enough right there. You do remember him. You've seen this man. You saw him at the Pook's place. He was near Abasi's children. You don't know why he was near Abasi's children, but he was at least at the same table.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was the same guy. Okay.
Out of game.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Out of game. That is that's the same guy that Jamar went to go see. Am I right?
Jamar's, well, I wouldn't say patron, but the guy who actually had her last name.
The guy
Oh,
who she thought
I
was
remember
her
this.
dad.
Didn't he have like a
Her dad.
something, like a feather or something that she recognized?
Yeah.
Jamar's fake dad.
She thought it was her dad. Well, I mean, he could have been, for all we know.
But he said she's probably fake or some slave offshoot or something, but who knows what was actually behind that.
Yeah, we don't know very much about him.
Correct.
Aside from,
We don't know very much about her.
it's also true.
I brought up earlier that she could super be in on all of this.
Now, Nick, you can come down at any time. If you want to stay upstairs and do anything, we're just going to kind of pass by the minutes until everybody kind of gets their rounds out of what they want to do, and we start seeing people show back up. So,
Yeah.
You show up whenever you'd like to.
Probably when she's feeling more like rested up. She's kind of worried about the skies like running out of time. I think I have like 3 or 4 hours on that now, so it shouldn't be too bad. But
I think in order to renew your, you just need an hour, right? In order to return your spells, you need an hour.
something like, I guess so. Yeah,
I think
if
that's
we're going
right.
by the short rest rules. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, you'll be able to return what spells you've used, which isn't very many for the record. It was just a couple of your witch abilities.
To be fair, this is
Go ahead.
my disguise hex, which operates based on a certain number of hours per day.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
So,
Okay.
Then sure, we'll allow that to refresh in that time.
okay.
Donkor.
Hi.
You did see the man. You at least remember him, though you don't really know much about him.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Wow. That was the one of those sneezes that was like rearing up. Like it was like, hey, I'm coming. I'm coming. But so Donkor's gonna take a note of this, but because at this point he would have noticed now Ronan dancing, and that would have distracted him of all train of thought
Sure.
that he would have had. Donkor's gonna go to Farhan and apologize if he lost any business for Ronan's
Sure.
dancing.
Do you just want to say that, or do you want to open this up to like a role play?
No, he's just gonna quickly say that, in passing, not try to spark up a conversation, but more like I apologize if you lost any business while he was dancing, and then start to move towards Ronan, who's actively.
I apologize for nothing.
Before you are able to quite break away from the bar, his hand comes across the bar with unnerving speed and grabs at your wrist. And you see this almost like unblinking stare before he finally releases your wrist. Please do not let him do that ever again.
Wait, grabbing my wrist or his wrist?
No, he's grabbing mine.
This is the thing that will drive away business. For certain. This is not okay.
I didn't know he was capable of such elegance, if that's what you want to call it.
No, there is no sarcasm here. That was not elegant by any mean. That is not the case. I had nearly lost my breakfast. And how could he have kept going for so long?
That's a good question. He's a small thing. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I love how no one tried to stop him either. Just let him keep going for 15 minutes while he's just spraying liquid everywhere.
Anybody wanted to get close to him.
He pauses from you. I have seen a similar situation to this before.
Demonic
There is
possession.
this one time, long ago in the desert, when we were walking from, well, a place, I will leave it unnamed for a time. But something had happened, and it set one of our camels on fire. And we could not look away. At all. It was just screaming. Have you ever heard a camel scream? It is an awful noise.
I don't think I have, but if that's what that looked like, I don't think I want to see a camel screaming while they're on fire.
I lost a good camel that day. I miss that sweet-ass camel of mine.
And I think I lost my breakfast watching this, and I missed my breakfast. I'm going to go grab my friend and get him away.
Thank you.
Although I don't think I want to call him a friend right now. The dog.
God, but getting dragged like
He doesn't know, like, right? Ronan doesn't understand or know that he's feeling it, right? When you let the music take you over.
Let the music play.
Yeah.
oh my god.
It's like when she pulled out the bongos, it was like the part with Phil Collins.
Dun, 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 dun. I can feel it.
Oh my god. When it's him like like stumbling, like.
Yeah.
Oh my god! So if someone doesn't animate that, I'm really mad.
It's a goofy version of I can feel it coming.
Have you seen the deer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Deer?
Yes.
It's that, but put a goblin face on that deer. That's easy. You can do that in like Photoshop. That's
The
shit.
scene-
No.
The scene in my head that played through was the scene from Clerks 2, when Jay and Bob
Oh my
are
God.
outside of the movies, and he's like, "Man, this sucks. There's
Oh.
not shit to do." And then Bob comes back with the radio, and he starts playing "Goodbye Horses." He goes, "Oh."
Goodbye, horses.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the scene right there, and
I
just
was
goes
at
out there.
Clerks. Isn't that Clerks 2?
Yeah, Clerks 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there-
I think the tucking scene.
The first one.
I think the tucking scene is one of the most fucking shocking things I've ever just seen
Dude.
for the first time in
Yeah.
a movie. Where they walk by and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the legendary tuck. It's good.
I
It's good stuff.
fucking-
Clerks 2 is a great movie. Great movie.
Still mad they couldn't make a third one.
I
It's
thought-
it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
making
it's
it.
it took him years to pay off the guy who plays Randall because he didn't want to do it.
No, he did Clerks 2.
Yeah, he wanted a
Yeah,
lot of money.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do a third one.
I think it was just because he was afraid of how he was painted in that situation. It painted him a very certain way, but it's okay. It's all right. So,
So Donkor is now going to move towards Ronan and be like, "Let's go, friend. We're going to go get you water and cheese. And
Hell yeah.
I'm sure that that's going to help you out in recovering whatever energy it is that you currently lost, and possibly my breakfast."
Yeah, man, it really gave me a good workout. It felt great.
I'm glad it felt great for you, rather than anyone else.
So where's this cheese?
Oh, it's upstairs, away from.
I'm ready. Lead the
No.
way.
on the way back, Donkor is going to drop 3 gold pieces and just say, with whatever this is, just bring cheese and water up to the room, please. We're going to get out of sight.
okay, so we have Donkor, we have Pilakka, and we will also see our goblin friend here, Ronan, going upstairs. What are we seeing out of Neferani?
Well, I'm gonna count my money, but I'm gonna go and like sit in the bar a little bit. Maybe I'll stare down that dude who gave me the shit look for a while, and kind of hope that someone from the consortium approaches me. I won't
Sure.
wait more than like a half an hour though. Like
Okay.
that, like 45 minutes total downstairs probably.
Sure, I gotcha. And then you'll go upstairs.
Yeah.
And do we see Abasi staying in the corner?
Yeah. They
Okay.
have to come into the main bar area, so he wants to know who's coming in, when they're coming in, and in what groups they're coming in, so that he can relay this information to his party later. Plus, he just feels safer knowing when the problem has shown up.
Okay. Nothing really happens downstairs for a while. The man will cast wry glances back and forth to you occasionally, Neferani. But you'll never see anyone from the Aspis. You never see the woman. Anyone approaching you with more locks of hair, coming to deliver any gold, nothing of that nature. At this point, you'll have seen that there have been a few trays that have been delivered upstairs, clean water, cold water, cheese, probably even a few loaves of bread. Pilakka has still yet to come downstairs, especially since now it's likely that you're beginning to get company up there. Will you venture up there, or do you stay waiting down here?
Oh, sorry. Was that my bad?
That was for Neferani.
Yeah, I go upstairs.
Okay. Pilakka, now that everybody's here except for Abasi, will you stay up here as well while everybody's relaxing and wait, or do you do anything different?
Probably stay in my quarters.
Okay. A few hours will pass. About 3 p.m. The sun still sets directly over the top at this point, and it casts the meanest glare upon the Tooth and Hookah. If you were to fall asleep under the lattice, your skin would be printed and painted with sunburn. Abasi,
Yes.
Everything remains simple and easy. 2.5 hours pass before finally someone comes in. Someone that doesn't quite fit the niche of this area. More so than the noble that was sitting at the table. You can't tell if it's a man or a woman. They're probably around 5.5 feet tall. Somewhat thin by nature, but they seem to carry themselves pridefully so. There is a strong gait in their step. They approach the bar, and when they draw attention to the barkeep, they don't say anything out loud. They just snap several times before Farhan catches eye and he'll move over. She leans in, and he does as well. Give me perception.
Okay. Aha, it's because it was behind another program. I was like, where the hell is my roll 20? Assuming that went through?
I'm not saying anything. Oh, it says my connection to the server has been interrupted.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. So I was like, I don't know if that went through at all.
Try that again.
Refresh real quick.
Samesies. Give us just a second, guys.
It's all broken. We're all gonna die.
I hope not.
Watch me just start dying. Like, oh, I got so better the first time. If only you knew. Where is my perception? Perception. I did get so much better the first time. I think I'd re-roll that one.
Okay. Reroll for me.
Woo!
That's very
Wow.
good.
I see through time and space.
Gotta restart the Tooth and Hookah theme. Okay. You do. And it takes a bit of focusing, but you will actually hear that she is looking for individuals that seem to look a very specific way. It's a woman. You're able to pick that up. It is what seems to be almost hushed under the sounds of the patrons that are imbibing and blowing out gouts of smoke. There seems to also be some a bit more hidden traits that you will pick up. You notice on her side, under her robes, she keeps what looks to be some kind of small to mid-sized blade. Her shoes, while revealed, are certainly not that of an adventurer. Very high-end. Rich in dye color. Not something that is worn commonly out into the market.
Do I get any inkling that this is our Aspis contact, or do I recognize her voice at all?
You do not recognize the voice. You also don't recognize anything else about them additionally. But you will see Farhan point to the corner, directly at you.
Trying to keep myself in a position of any kind of power for not knowing who this is, and there are so many people that want to kill me, Abasi will motion to the other side of the table from her and go back to what he was fiddling with in front of him.
Okay, all right. The woman will turn, and you don't really catch much in the way of her description as of yet. You can't see much of her features, but as she turns, she moves quickly, very light-footed. You can't quite tell, but you do not think that her heels ever meet the ground. She quickly moves her way over to the table. She composes herself, brushing herself off. Excuse me. I have come here to find someone by the name of Neferani? Or I believe Donkor was another name that I was given. Are you Neferani or Donkor?
Well, neither of these people, but let me ask you one simple question. Do you know Omen Come?
I do, in fact. I have been appointed as a seer. I am supposed to be witnessing what she believes may change history as we know it.
Okay, so this is who I thought it was. Can I sense motive to make sure I still think that's who?
Sure, go ahead.
It's not the best, but
Seems legit.
seems legit. Well, the dog soldiers aren't here yet, and I've found that person, but I was away from the room for most of the conversation. I got the
Right.
gist from my party of what was going on, but I I wasn't there to verify if this could be the person or not, but this seems right. So,
may I sit down?
well, actually, it'd probably be better if you met with Donkor and Neferani, as it were. Just right over this way, and he'll motion to the stairs for her to go first. He doesn't want to put his back to anybody.
Okay, sure enough. She'll wait for you to lead, and then she'll follow up behind you. Okay. Eventually, you'll be found moving upstairs. What does it look like upstairs? What's everybody doing before they come in together?
I'm assuming that by this point, Farhan would have came up with the cheese and water. So.
Oh yes, definitely.
Donkor is just very slowly chipping away at a block at either a piece of cheese or a portion of the block of cheese, with it just sitting in his hand, where he's just like lost in thought because he's still distraught with the way that Ronan was dancing.
I'll be so happy if that's the worst thing to happen to us today.
Donkor's been almost eaten by illusionary scarabs, and he's been scarred for life by interesting dancing.
Okay. What do we see happening with our dancing friend here?
I'm laying on a pillow.
Okay.
Like back, and I'm just feeding myself bits of cheese slowly. Just entertaining myself like that.
All right. Okay. Pilakka, have you returned from your domicile?
Yeah, sure. I may pop down and post up maybe like somewhere close to Abasi, since he's got the right idea with the whole corner thing.
Got it.
With my human glamour up, of course.
Got it. Okay. It won't be very long before you are met with a rapping at the door. This will be your ally. It's up to you whether or not you wish to believe that. Of course, you've only been friends with him for a brief time, but assuming that you had barred the door, as is tradition up to this point, he will likely need to be allowed in.
Donkor, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Donkor will get up and very, very slowly unbar the door and assuming that it's Abasi, with what he thinks is a heavy knock,
very heavy-fisted, probably,
would open the door, but very slowly because he's still unsure.
Sure. When you peer through the crack in the door, you will see that Abasi waits, and behind him appears to be a bit more of a feminine figure, though you can't really tell. The robes are pulled down in a way that disguises the face. Do you say anything to Abasi, or do you just open the door?
I just open the door, and very, very quickly as Abasi walks in, and like, and you brought a friend.
Well, you were waiting for Omen Cotton's assistant, I believe.
Yes, we were, and wow, that was actually a lot faster than we thought it would be, considering we weren't planning on leaving yet. Where's Neferani? Is she in her room?
What
is Neferani doing?
A while ago.
Neff?
I went upstairs, yeah.
Where are you upstairs? Are you in your room? Are you waiting in the open area?
I'm probably like wherever, especially if Little Buddy's eating cheese. I'm probably eating cheese with Little Buddy.
Gotcha. All right.
When the hell did she get there? Anyway, I must be losing my mind.
Over there with the hairless rat?
I honestly must not have seen her at first.
I glare at the dwarf while still eating the cheese.
We are going to have issues until the first time we have to see combat, and then those issues are all going to go the fuck away.
That's great.
Okay. Do you enter in and do you offer this place to her, or?
Yeah. Donkor likely would look her way and be like, apologies. Please make yourself at home. We do have some cheese and water here. We don't have very much at the moment.
She gives you a very informal return gesture. You offer inward, and she gives you what looks to be a slight curtsy, almost as if she might have been wearing a dress. She'll stand back to her feet and begin brushing herself off, enter in through the door. And she'll wait for you to shut the door. She seems very polite, or at least allowing you to handle the situation in your own native routine.
So, forgive me. Did you have a name? It'd be much more easier to address you if we knew how.
Yes. She nods in understand, and she pulls back her cowl slowly, like she's sort of trying to protect her hair. And she drops her cowl, and you see something that's a little different for the area.
Damn it, Shamara.
Not
Hi
quite.
guys.
Her hair is braided. It's pulled back, but it's braided tightly to the side, and it runs down in weave. Once she pulls it from the cowl, her eyes are this crystal blue, just the cleanest of waters, and her skin's very almost soft, like almost peach fuzzy soft and pale. She doesn't quite look like she's ever, or at least has been touched by the sun just yet, and her hair is golden blonde. Which is
Abasi
not...
lets out a whistle, but then like looks away like he figures all of a sudden he shouldn't be looking at her. There's something weird about this.
She is incredibly beautiful. And she nods to you. She says, excuse me, my apologies. My name is Terran Legaeus. I am operating for the Mend, specifically for Oman Kotem.
Donkor would hesitate for a moment to address.
She's stunning, and not in the way that Jamara was. Jamara just like oozed this borderline sex appeal, this ferocity. But this woman is very soft spoken, and she is rather dainty.
Apologies. I wasn't expecting Oman Kotem to not only send somebody so soon, but I was expecting someone a little bit more harsh on the eyes. So please forgive me for my stare. The person sitting next to our little friend over there is Neferani. She would also be the one in charge for most of our decision making here.
Ah, very good. And she moves. She kind of bows to you, and she moves over to you, Neferani, as you're kind of like laying on your back with your knees up, shoveling cheese into your maw.
Mm-hmm.
I throw a piece of cheese at Donkor after I heard him call me little.
Donkor, do you just let it hit your body? It's not likely.
Just a tiny piece of cheese, just like a
Gotcha.
sample. Yeah, like a beep.
Gotcha. All right.
Don't waste the cheese.
You likely won't even notice, right?
Throw it at me. If
Yeah,
you're gonna throw it in my mouth hole.
he likely wouldn't have even noticed at this point. He's too busy playing his cards.
She steps over to you immediately, Neferani, and she places her hands in front of her, and she kind of gives a curtsy and a bow. Hello, Madam Neferani?
Oh.
Miss Neferani?
Me? Hello. Hi. Sorry. And I hand the rest of my piece of cheese to the goblin. Like,
Well, thanks.
This.
Holy shit.
Yes. Hello. I'll try.
Dual wielding cheese.
She places her hands out in front of her in a way that she wishes to greet you, sort of like you would expect someone who is trained from a bit of a different land. Their practice seems to be a little foreign, but she seems to greet your hand smoothly so, in this soft nature. And
All right, I'll give her my hands in return, and just be like, I don't know, awkwardly
Sure.
rub them or something.
she kind of like places the thumb over your hand. She says, "Hello, I'm Terran Legaeus, and I am operating for Otem." And yes, I understand. She looks back to you, Donkor, that I've come so swiftly, but well, when she says that something may be changing the course of history, you tend to believe what she says. There is weight within her words.
I don't deny what she's saying to be true, and but so quickly, it's not even been more than a few hours.
Well, Wati is not that large when you move by camelback or even walking.
I would assume so. I figured you'd want to either confirm or to prepare yourself for what might happen soon. We still have some business that we needed to take care of, but I'm sure between the conversation with Neferani, you might be able to. Well, we might be able to figure out a plan and when we might leave to confirm our information.
Well, I wasn't exactly told what it was that you had discovered or found.
Oh, okay.
So you came over here not knowing anything?
Ronan takes the cheese and stops eating and goes,
Something smells fishy, and I don't think it's the fish.
Abasi goes to say something. Goes, well, you said I'm not allowed to. You should. Right, you might want to talk to Donkor and Neferani. I'll be over here. And he just like walks to the other side of the room.
If you would like me to leave, I can, but I'm afraid that Miss Koten will not. She will not be pleased.
Donkor's gonna. I'm gonna sense motive real
Sure,
quick.
go for it. Wow. It's as far as you can tell. She sounds like she's telling the truth.
Okay.
Sounds like a whole lot of not our problem.
I find it completely hard to believe that you weren't informed, but I assume that the details weren't as important as you finding us first. I
didn't know exactly whom
plus-
I was looking for, but I was told to seek out someone by the name of Neferani and someone by the name of Donkor. I was told that it was of the utmost importance, and it can change the history of Wati as we know it.
And you did say that. It very well can change the history of Wati.
And I think it's important to note that you spoke specifically to Oman Koten. She is not one to be trifled with. She operates within a noble family, and she has more power than I think you give her credit for. I would not like to displease her.
I don't deny that. We've been dealing with a lot of people of power of late, and I don't want to anger any of them.
But the last thing I need is a god coming through my roof again.
And you need to relax there, bossy. We haven't told her the story. As the Donkor nervously laughs. Like, why?
She
My entire input is just one line you didn't want.
She looks over to you immediately, Neferani. When he says that God coming through the ceiling, she looks to you almost as if you are going to deliver the perfect answer.
I'm not quite sure what it is that you want. You want me to tell you that we found I'm just looking like at the guys like, hey, really?
Long story short, we believe that Arkentepi might be a woman, or is a woman, because we confirmed that, and, well, there's some other details that we didn't tell Omen Kotep.
Of course she's a bloody woman, come on. You were there, I was there.
And the rest of Wati wasn't.
You were one of the conscious ones, though. You see her. She looked me right in the eye.
Should I leave?
No. Just, this is what we do.
We are a band of misfits, but I promise you, this is no joke. Arkentepi was in fact a woman.
You can tell that she is not from Wati. She is not from the Osirian Desert. She has this very high and almost like tightened tone of voice. It's a dialect that is probably more akin to what we would think Ronan might know.
Probably wouldn't phase Donkor, but it may phase the rest of the group.
Okay.
Everything is foreign to Abasi.
Sure. I don't claim to understand what it is that you found. I was told that I simply must venture into a place that may be hazardous, that many people may die from this, and that once the news is out, more may still die in order to keep it a secret.
Yeah, and that's probably what I thought. How do we want to handle this, Neferani?
I don't know.
So,
No,
okay.
really, I think that we should probably stop telling people that Akentepe was a woman until we have proof and maybe some more I don't know, safety. Because we just let this woman into our room for like, and we didn't even really think about it. No offense, just using you as an example. So,
She kind of lets out a like she wanted to say something, but then she just bites her tongue, just waits.
You're up.
So, what? So it seems to me that you may not be aware of who Akentepe is. Am I correct?
No, I'm sorry. I respect history for what it is. I am not familiar with the name.
To my best recollection, Akentepe was a war general, one quite famous enough that, to use the more historically accurate term, he was quite famous for his deeds. We've come to find out that he is in fact not a he, and it was in fact a woman, and it was kept secret for quite some time. In history, it was detected that she was a man.
There's a long pause. If anybody would like to say anything, you can before she finally closes her eyes, and you can visibly see the kind of the head rolls briefly back before returning to a resting position. A woman.
And that was our reaction, almost splittingly. Yes, a woman, and that's why this is.
Are you sure that you did not find Akentepe's wife?
Oh no, we're very sure. We unfortunately are very sure.
She spoke to us.
And this is where this gets odd.
Yeah, they spoke to her.
She looks to you, and she gives you this almost like, what the fuck did you just say, look? Like eyes wide, but the head kind of jars around like a bobblehead for a moment. What do you mean? She spoke to you?
Bird.
Yeah. Well, we may have revived her, but this shouldn't be of any problem for you.
And Donkor,
If anything, this could be our proof.
Donkor just was resting his hand on his eye, like, and here we go.
Who is this again?
How did you?
Which one are you?
I'm operating as the seer for Omankotem.
Oh, I thought you were the mage, or the what was Jamara, sorcerer? I thought you were the sorceress.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not this person. Listen, I feel as if you have many things you must discuss amongst yourselves. You do not seem to have all of the information. I can come back later if you would be a bit more composed.
Explicitly true, ma'am. We have all the information. It's just a matter of what we're willing to part with. And so far, I've been told to shut the fuck up and stand in the corner.
Is that why you're doing that?
Because that's what Donkor said. Stop fucking telling everybody all of our secrets.
This isn't. I don't think Donkor was being literal.
Abasi looks at him head in hands and goes, "Oh, he looks pretty sad right now. What you were talking."
We are quite literally. We are as composed as we ever can be. We are a bat. This is as odd as a group that you will understand. Trust me. I've been dealing with them for almost a week now.
You're
far away.
giving us a very awesome picture. We're awesome.
They're definitely trustworthy, and my life has been in their hands more than once. But let me tell you, this is very they're odd. They're an odd group compared to what you might be dealing with.
We have a claim. We have no proof. To us, to you, we are useless with no proof. So along with you now. We have ugly halflings to meet.
Wasn't the whole point it to get her to come with us to go.
That was.
What proof do we have in the necropolis?
She might be able to see something or find something that we don't know, but unfortunately,
Why do we think that? Who is she?
Yeah, but what could we find? What would you all find?
I would be able to finally show off that she was locked in the tomb alive, because there are signs of that with scratching on the inside.
Yeah, but that wouldn't dictate gender, though.
A lot of the documentation is missing, but there's also the magic mirror that shows Akentepe's appearance.
It could be magic, though.
There's the mirror. There's the second sarcophagus, and then the sarcophagus itself. If we can move the plating, would have shown the depiction of a woman.
That other sarcophagus was such a trap.
If push really comes to shove, Zanjafar has the rest of the documentation that would have possibly said something. So we could just update the objective to track him down for this quest as well as the other quest.
I think I memory checked and it told me that nothing that Zanjafar has would have been helpful.
Well, we didn't know for sure, but it was all of the historical documents.
Well, right. We could tell her to go seek out Zanjafar, if anything, I guess.
I mean, I left a back door into the tomb.
Well, it'd be easier because at some point we have to make our way back into the tomb anyway, so it'd be easier if we accustomed ourselves with traveling down there.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are wanting to go back into the tomb?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. We don't know where Akentepe is, but we know that Akentepe hasn't made an appearance in the city anywhere. So it's safe to say that if she doesn't have her own god lair, that she's probably in the necropolis still. Normal people aren't allowed in the necropolis. We have a back door to get around everything, to get in and out. We haven't searched the other sarcophagus yet, which we know there's a lot of magic around and potentially some really nice loot, but we were beaten, bruised, and out of resources at the time. Plus, it lets us back into the necropolis to go anywhere and do anything. If we needed to take over the city with money, knowledge, weapons, that's where you'd get them.
Yeah. We definitely don't want to just put this person off to the side, to be completely honest with you.
She should stay with us while we do our meeting tonight and then come with us tomorrow if one of us or more of us decide to go back to the necropolis.
Okay, really quick, as an aside, can you prove that you were sent by
Omen Coton?
I was definitely not sent by Manamana, but I was sent by Oman Kotem.
Yes, I was testing you.
I cannot prove that I am operating with Oman Kotem, but whom else might I be working for, and whom might you be worried of seeing?
Yeah, that sounds like a very leading question.
Oh, Abasi's mouth is half open. He goes, "Right."
More importantly, what would I gain from lying? From walking across the city from a noble house?
I mean, I so far have all the reason to believe you. I don't think you're lying to me. We're going to have to travel back into the tomb to be able to show you, which I'm sure you're prepared for. Or at least I hope that you would be prepared for. And I don't
Jamara
think...
gone, we have an extra room.
But we have he's sleeping with me. Can I roll sense motive? When Donkor says that, I want a sense motive because I don't know how I feel about this woman.
Who are you sense motiving right now? Are you sensing Donkor or are you sensing her?
I trust Donkor.
Okay.
Her.
All right. we are sense motivating this woman like crazy.
Are you happy with 16?
Happier.
16. Okay. As far as you can tell, she seems legitimate. I can leave. If you are unhappy with me being here, then I understand. You don't know me, and I have no proof for whom that I work for.
No, I'm just...
More teas for me!
They're all very skeptical. We've had a very rough week, not only going into the necropolis, finding out that Akentepe was a woman, but there are not very nice people currently after us with regards for our information and It's a very long story, and I don't think you have time for that. But what I can say is if you're willing, then we can journey on into the necropolis very soon, so that way you might do whatever research or findings that you may want. It just might take some time before we're able to set out and actually leave.
I have an idea. We can test her.
And
If she's trustworthy, she'll slow down by half. But you have to kiss me first.
Bossy perks up the corner. Goes, what?
Just a little peck.
When she says this, she kind of like her head bows. Can I get a perception from anyone that might be facing her?
Somebody is watching intently.
Me and Bossy are like,
Why do I feel like at this point, this is when Ronan's like tosses the cheese and you just go zip. All right.
oh my god.
Bossy's like, Ronan, no! You're ruining this for everyone else.
Ronan, Pilakka, Neferani, Donkor, Abasi, you can all see this. When her head bows, she kind of looks around to the left and right, and then she blushes. Because she was standing very close to Donkor already, you see her hand kind of swing outward and almost like reach for protection. I'm sorry. I do not think that is right. There must be another way to determine if I am trustworthy.
But Frosma, all of her wisdom, you sent this woman into the necropolis? Oh, man, why?
that was, I don't know. That was really an easy thing.
Yes, I'm sure that was.
What? Donkor is very trustworthy, and he'll slow down by half. Oh, yes, you have to prove it's okay.
No.
Uh-huh.
Donkor, she doesn't quite let go of your hand. In fact, she looks to you in what you might describe as the meaning of like needing assistance or help, almost like a savior. She looks borderline helpless and cornered.
Donkor's very now like, I got this, as he's telling Neferani no.
Why? See, you're not instilling trust here.
This is definitely.
We'll fix it right away.
No, you won't.
Are we doing this, or
She's gonna roll a sense motive on you.
On me?
Yeah.
I don't know what her motive is, so what are you?
Yes,
wow?
Whoa, plus 12?
What's your motive like? What's your intentions there, Miss Neferani?
My intention was that if she, my thinking was that I felt I felt like she was trustworthy, but I wanted to see if she would play, like if she was willing to prove it, right? Because if she took it, she would slow down by half, and thus proving it to us that she was trustworthy. Just confirming it.
Do you say that it will slow her by half? Because you were mentioning that it will reduce your speed, or it will reduce your movement, or something like that.
Yeah. Basically, that's my implication.
Okay.
I'm describing exactly what would happen if she did it. Very honestly, my intention is that I believe her, but I'm not like 99%,
Sure.
and like I figure like if she does that and looks like disbelieving, then she'll be like, then it's clear that something was up. That if she does it and she's like, look, see, I'm willing. Yeah, I want to make sure she's willing to prove it, but I believe her. If that's my whole.
There must be another way. That doesn't seem appropriate. Besides, if you were to cut my movement, what is to stop you from abandoning me at the sight of a creature or this Akintepi, as you said, that you have revived?
No, wait a minute.
Never mind.
Neff,
I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
She's clearly afraid. She's clutching my hand.
Listen, if she worked for any one of our standard enemies, she'd have kissed you immediately. If anything, that's a sign that we should trust her.
Oh, I do trust her. I'm sorry. I was trying to prove your trustworthiness with a way to also solve a different problem. But where's the raccoon? Can I just take care of this problem? I was gonna get it back or have someone else get it back, but
Wait, Pilakka, I gotta see this. Let her kiss your raccoon.
Donkor's gonna quickly.
Just kind of like shying away, like protecting him now.
I will be right back.
Donkor's gonna look towards Terran and be like, "You'll get used to it, I promise."
I'm gonna be right back.
Where do you go?
I go downstairs and try to find someone to kiss me.
Mark.
Many of the patrons have left at this point. Most of them have come and gone. You will see that there are still the musicians on stage. This is a regular spot for them, but someone that you will see.
Up and grab the dude that looked you down and go.
Yeah. One of the people that still remain here that kind of sticks out to you is the noble. His guard isn't here. He sits alone.
Okay.
His fingers are kind of like tapping on the table, like he's still waiting.
Is the dude that was on stage that gave me the eyes still there?
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna go up with a gold piece and show him, like, with my hand out in one and the gold piece in the other. And, like, if you kiss me, I will give you a gold piece. All you have to do is kiss me.
I'm gonna follow her down the stairs.
He's very sus of the situation because you were just like you were mean mugging the fuck out of him. You were like,
oh yeah, she has no chill. Like there's no like
zero chill.
Yeah, you were not friends at this point, especially since now you're like, kiss me for a gold, and you're like holding this suspicious. Yeah, you're like you're putting it in your yeah. So give me.
Does he know about the game? Like I'm thinking that he like does he because if he knows, I'm assuming he knows the game, like that he knows what the fuck's going on. I'm making that assumption. Like,
if he knows, it's super worth though because he gets a gold and all he has to do is pawn the rock off on somebody else.
That's what I'm thinking in character. Like I'm the dumbass who didn't know this. Okay. Here's a gold, just fucking take it.
Give me a diplomacy.
Okay.
Just punches him in the face and kisses him. That's the right.
I want to keep it because I think that's a much better story.
You see his hand kind of raising for a moment, like he's thinking about it. Do you walk away or
no?
Okay. He takes the coin in a paused moment, and he puts it into his purse, and then he sticks his head out.
And as he puts it in his purse, I put it in my mouth and kiss him.
Okay. When you kiss him, do you step away? What do you do in this situation?
I kiss him till the second I feel it fucking gone, and then I'm just like.
Okay. It's not in your hand. While you're kissing him, it still remains in your mouth.
Okay, well that's what I mean. Like okay, all right. So I'll kiss him for like a second and then pull away.
Okay, your lips hit his. And you wait. And as you continue to wait, it never quite removes from your mouth.
I'm gonna unkiss.
When you pull your lips back from his, he doesn't break stare with you. He jingles his purse and goes back to playing his instrument.
He didn't want it.
Do I still have the fucking rock in my mouth?
It's in your mouth, yes.
That wasn't the unspoken agreement.
What's that? I can't hear you over the beautiful music.
You have a party of angry, stompy adventurers upstairs that could come down and make him hear a lot of things.
I said that wasn't the unspoken agreement!
You every time that you say it a little bit louder, he just plays and plays and plays on louder and louder.
Okay.
What's that? No, you like the music? I don't blame you. It's really good.
Did she kiss Jack Black or Chandler?
Why not both?
I am going to stand in front of him and just stare him down. Again.
He brings it down to a pause. What do you want?
That was a whole gold piece. That was shitty.
I understand it was a very good deal for me.
I learned that word last week. There was no deal because I received no benefit.
Well, you were able to kiss me. That some would say is a benefit in and of itself.
Oh, is this what we're gonna do?
Listen, clearly in your home you were never taught of the kissing stones, and I knew what this was from the beginning.
I know you did.
You understand that someone has to want the kiss.
And you did want the kiss. You took the gold. You're being disingenuous.
No, I wanted the gold.
You wanted.
Now I have 1 gold and 1 copper.
The cost of the gold was the kiss. Was the stone, not the kiss.
I don't know what's worth more at this point, this single gold or this 1 copper. It's burning bitterly so, I think, in your own pocket. I stand for a little bit of rivalry. It only will improve my skill. But you were just rude.
With your bongo.
If I did not respect Farhan so much, your life would be forfeit. Musical life would be forfeit because I don't believe in violence for no reason. However, what's the equivalent to biting your fucking thumb at someone? Like,
in this time, it's like pinching sand, just like pinching sand and throwing. It's like literally like to dust with you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna reach down and pick it up. If this is your decision, it will come back to you in spades. And I'll walk away.
He's hit with the sand, and as you're walking away, he goes, "You can meet with the man who's been watching you the entire time."
Well, that was where I was going anyway. So you can.
He waves, goes back to his instrument.
I pick up an entire handful of sand and hug him, and then don't wait for anything and turn around and go sit at the guy's table and look at him.
I'm just waiting to everybody's coming downstairs, and Neferani's literally just got this sandball in her hand, and she's diving to punch him with the sand in her fist.
I'm not gonna hit him, but I'm definitely like, it looks like some fucking like Jackass video where someone's just getting like I pick up as much as not humanly, but you know what I mean? Like it's not just like a grab, it's a scoop. But like highlight era fucking whack it into his face.
Bring it over.
And then I go sit angrily with the old dude.
Okay. How do you sit down?
Like angrily, like.
I figured. You see for the first time his face breaks, and he offers a bit of a wry grin. What's wrong? What seems to have happened?
I assume it's back in my hand.
Yes.
So, we're not going to talk about how it happened, but I have this stupid stone, and no one will kiss me for it. So I went to this heckin' jerk face over here, and tried to pay him a gold to take it from me because it's worth less than that. I thought it'd be nice because he was a jerk to me earlier and didn't make him afraid enough of me. But anyway, he just took my gold and wouldn't take the stone like a jerk face.
His eyes focus and he kind of leans in to look at your stone. You're a kissing stone. He kind of brings up his hand and he laughs into his hand. I'm sorry. Thank you. That's something from my own childhood. It's quite funny. Are you waiting on someone as well?
Well, I'm glad that I could put a smile on your face this evening. And no, I was just coming down here to try to get rid of this because I made a mistake upstairs. And then I made a mistake over there, and I just want to get rid of this stone. And you gave me a lot of gold earlier, and I never said thank you, so thank you.
His grin drops at the discussion of mistakes. Life is all about making mistakes and recovering from them, and well, I've made my fair share. He seems very downtrodden. You can keep me company if you're going to be around for a while.
I guess she's gonna look upstairs, kind of like, and then look back to you. I can stick around for a little bit.
Thank you. My guards were eager to retire early, and Farhan is a bit of an old friend of mine. I've been through our team many times, but I now wait. Kind of looks around. I don't know for how long.
What are you waiting on?
Would it be funny to say a woman? At my age, I'm waiting on a woman.
That's not. Is it a nice woman?
His brow kind of tightens several times. I don't know. I've only met her once.
What's her name?
She said her name was Jamara Arak.
Holy crap!
He startles. You see his headdress kind of like dance on his head.
I mean, I'm sorry. I know her! I look around. I don't see her, though. You can't miss her.
How do you know Jamara?
I do! My friends know her, too. We should get them. We would love to see her again. She's coming here?
I don't know. I've been waiting here for the last 3 or 4 days, coming and going as such, and I was told that she would be found here. Is where I last saw her. Was just outside of the Tooth and Hookah.
Well, who told you you'd find her here?
A few of my men were scouting, watching. I saw her in the bazaar briefly. They said that she was escorted by some men. That she was seen most here.
When did they see her, though, last? Because we haven't seen her for about a week? Over a week now.
I would assume as long.
Oh. Well, someone who remembers the story better than I should probably tell you, because we got a message about her.
You received a message about her?
It wasn't very promising. Levy, who was coming down the stairs? Was the goblin coming down the stairs?
Yes, that would have been Ronan. Ronan said he was interested in following behind and watching.
Yep.
So do I know that Ronan's downstairs?
It depends. Ronan, are you carrying your sword? Are you just watching from the steps? What are you doing?
I'm kind of just watching from the steps to make sure the cat lady's okay.
Okay. All right.
So I'm kind of like peering through. I assume that there's a
banister gap.
rungs.
Yeah, there's a gap.
Kind of just sitting on the stairs, like peering down.
Misty, give me a perception. Sure enough, from where you sit, you look up the stairs, and as your eyes turn away, you can see there's just a light glint of silvery eyes peering back from the top of the steps in the gap. And you can see that while there isn't much shade up there, you can see this almost pie-shaped head watching from the top of the steps. Looks to be Ronan, your best guess, at least from the height.
I will wave frenetically at him.
She seems to, with some intent, be waving at you to get your attention. Do you wave back? Do you see to her? What do you do?
I guess I'll come. I mean, since she exposed me from my me thinking I was stealth.
You're peeping.
I'll just gonna come down and just plop up next to her.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit down next to her and be like,
Do you want me to take out the guy with the guitar?
Maybe. Can you go first before you do that?
I can go upstairs and grab my sword. It's all ready.
Yes, do that. But when you go up there, can you tell them that I'm talking to someone who's looking for Jamara?
For who?
Jamara, if you forget that, just say the Fire Lady.
Okay, that's easy.
Okay, but go get your sword and come back, but tell them that. Don't come back without telling them that. Tell them, then your sword, then some cheese, and then come back.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
There's probably been about 15 minutes or so with them gone. Would you guys have done anything in the room? Would you have explained anything else?
With them gone, I think at this point, Donkor is just trying to explain to Terran that this is something you'll get used to if you plan on sticking around. And
Abasi's under the rules not to talk again, so as soon as things quieted down, he would probably have tried to return to his corner downstairs.
Can I get a sense motive from Donkor, Pilakka, and from Abasi?
Oh my god. Oh,
Okay.
Perception. I didn't mean to click that.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
One more time?
Oh.
Oh.
Now we're
Is
done.
that, how many do you have left?
I think that's all of them.
2.
You have, yeah,
He
there's
had 5. He didn't do.
Go for it, man. It's
He didn't do-
Yeah, you want me to just keep rolling this sense?
Dude,
We're
damn
gonna
it, you all.
No, because you
You're gonna
did.
be so sad.
You did one earlier, so I think you have one more.
You have one more.
We have 5. I should have 2 more.
Yeah.
All right, the initial
The
10.
first one was a perception, not a
Yeah.
reroll.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have 2 more.
Do you try it again?
Do it.
Wow. Okay.
He's
Actually,
good as Donkor.
interestingly
Yeah.
enough,
From downtown.
I have to ask a question here. I wasn't gonna do this, but I have to ask a question specifically to Donkor. You notice, Donkor, that she is leaning to you in the point of like authority for this particular group. Since you've been named alongside of Neferani, she's leaning to you as point of authority. Would you? What are your thoughts of her immediately?
Donkor at this moment is thinking that she's a very timid person. She's not used to adventuring. She's very in the books, studies history, probably doesn't know very much of the outside world.
Okay.
And how it works. So he's like, I don't think this is gonna work. But then at the same time, he's like, but she's cute.
You notice that her hand never quite leaves your wrist. It may loosen in grip, but it never quite leaves your wrist. Would that sway the things that you say? Would that sway how you act?
No, that makes him a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah?
Yeah, because at this point, he's not used to physical contact, so it just makes
It's
him
sort of like
uncomfortable.
when someone will rest like their hand, like on not like gripping on a shoulder, but like flatly, like the fingers are very tight, close to each other. It's sort of like in more so an acknowledgement speaking to you, not in any kind of emotional or loving manner. It's just like speaking directly to you.
Yes, any form of physical contact, regardless of what, would probably make Donkor very uncomfortable.
Do you express that at all?
No, he's more so trying to keep a straight face because he saw that she was physically. It appeared that she was not. She wasn't like she didn't seem like she was okay. She was very distraught by that whole situation.
Okay,
or at least it appeared that way.
And you would you say that you have found yourself trying to be like a rescuer at that moment?
Not so much as a rescuer, but more like just like the shoulder to lean on. Just like, all right, you do you, but
do you?
I'm not trying to protect you.
Tip your hat. Do you call him a lady?
Memorandum lady.
No, but he's more so just like, all right, you do you.
Okay.
This very feels awkward.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be
this
calm
so for
about it
you
as
this
possible.
feels incredibly strange, borderline awkward.
Yeah.
But you have to
course.
also bear in mind that you are carrying a sword that makes you handsome, suave, borderline debonair at times. Now, I say this specifically to Abasi. Abasi, you have seen that she is offering what looks to be some subtle formalities that you might see a bit more akin to mates or lovers or at least a love interest. You can see that her hand is resting on him. She seems to have a smile. Her eyes are very bright. It seems like it's not very clear that she might be like, quote unquote, hitting on him, but she has taken a bit more of an interest in it. And this is probably very blind to Pilakka, since she has likely never, while she may have studied, she may have never felt love before, or something akin to
Jesus,
affection.
that was way darker than you intended it.
No, not at all. Like, we had this conversation earlier.
No, he's right. And she's just making tea and giving this lady the stink eye.
Yeah. We actually had this conversation earlier. I think you were actually... Were you on the phone?
I believe
I would have been when I was on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bub was pressing for like hey, did Pilakka have any kind of emotional connection to any living creature in the past? The answer is no.
The answer is yes, you love Abasi. I will fight you.
I said challenge.
You can keep telling yourselves whatever you want.
Listen, I knew her last incarnation on this world, okay? She was a dumbass thief, but I was there for her.
Perfect.
Who's Wilfred? You don't know no Wilfred.
But Abasi, you can pick this up. You sense this. What you do with that is entirely up to you. If you say anything, if you do anything, entirely yours.
Not directly, because Abasi has noticed that he has a tendency to get told that he's a little too much of an excitable dwarf. Dwarf excitement aside, his actual worries, though he isn't mentioning them right now, is that yes, he does trust her explicitly. He doesn't think she's a part of any of the groups that are trying to kill us, because her mannerisms are so at odds with the people that have already dealt with them.
Right.
She's definitely not a part of his dad's crew. She doesn't look like she'd be a part of the Pook's crew. She's not a bird witch lady, so we're fine there. And the consortium would have just straight up demanded things from us.
Yeah.
No, odds are high that she says she is who she says she is. Suddenly, however, if this is a big political thing that could change the climate of the world and everything as we know it, it becomes a question of, is she setting up a position to use him in the future and twist him in ways that will help her?
Okay. Or is she being genuine or disingenuous?
Genuine. Or is she fucking just terrified of our stupidity? Because look at the first few things we did.
Yeah.
Our party leader asked her to make out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little weird. And at this moment, the door is kicked in. Lo and behold, Ronan.
Wait a minute. Before I go upstairs, though, as I leave the table, I want to do this, and then like back away to the stairs slowly, and then just pitter patter up the stairs like Bart Simpson.
I just imagine you like looking at the musician, be like, and then backing into something.
You bolt upstairs as quick as your little feet will take you, and you kick the door open. It swings in, and there's a noticeable jar. Ko, you would see that she kind of like jumps. There's a jump in her person. She is very jumpy by nature, and you will feel like a slight pinch at your arm where she finally she gripped on, and she peers back over her shoulder looking at the door.
You are very excitable.
Do you tell her?
Yes.
Her eyes remain very alert, and then her face grows flush as she looks down and she releases her hand from your wrist. Ronan, you're there. Door's kicked open. You say anything or do anything?
Things. Fire. There's an old man. First of all, there's a guy downstairs I didn't kill. But I'm grabbing my sword.
My boss is like, oh, no.
Second.
Please don't tell me you're going to kill someone. What?
Hold on. Let the goblin speak. There's an old man that says there's a fire lady somewhere.
Taryn looks to you. What's a goblin?
That's him. He's a goblin. Oh. Yes. Continue, Ronan, please. What? Fire lady?
There's an old guy downstairs talking to the cat lady about the fire lady.
Bossy just starts laughing hysterically. Donkor, you've forgotten about your old flame already? She's been gone for less than a week.
Oh, you have a girlfriend? Nice.
No, I definitely don't have a girlfriend, but what I definitely did not forget about Jamara.
It's okay if you're embarrassed. It's all right.
Taryn stands
Remember her
immediately.
name?
If you have someone that you must tend to, I understand.
Hey, I'm single.
Yes, you are, Mr. Goblin.
I've got a nice
Good
sword.
puts his hands on his shoulders. He's like,
As-
I'm thinking he will remain, I'm sure.
As he will remain, yes.
I'm grabbing my sword and going downstairs. So
You are not grabbing your sword.
she
And-
said to go downstairs with the sword if I told you about the fire ladies.
No, thank you for telling us about
I
the fire
thought-
lady. But no, you are not grabbing your sword. What do you intend to do with your sword?
I'll watch him. I'll watch him.
I'm not going to
Let me
kill
know how
anyone.
loud their sex is later. Come on, Ronan.
Ah! See, I get what I want. I throw the thing over my shoulder and
I
toddle
don't
out the door.
On it,
But I do it.
Or you won't get any more cheese.
But I be
Let's go.
I be careful as I go through the door because I see the image of the guy downstairs. I'm gonna remember his name eventually.
Pilakka, do you go with?
Yeah.
All right.
We just rolled him under the bus, and the last thing Abasi says is, Pilakka, let me know how loud their sex is. And Pilakka's like, I'm not staying up here. Fuck that shit.
I'm just like, yeah, no. Getting out of here.
After you said that, Taryn's going to look immediately at you, Donkor, and clear her throat, and then she's going to step with him outside.
I remembered. Sorry.
It's definitely a good idea that we go with them. There's another party member that we used to have. Let's go.
Yes, there will not be any sex, as you have said. I do not. I should probably leave.
I'm
And
glad how awkward this is.
her head dips, and she starts immediately moving to the door.
And just that might be a wise decision. Sorry that it was so. Well, it was just as awkward for me as it was for everyone else. You're more than welcome back, but
I will have to think of this. I should probably see. Oh man, this is not what I expected. I don't know what I expected. Good day. And she leaves.
And have a good one. Yes.
She just literally ghosts.
She's not coming back.
That's it.
I've never been more proud.
Donkor's gonna grab his things and follow down.
Okay. You make your way downstairs, and you can see that Neferani is still engaging in conversation with this older individual, and Ronan happily skips down the steps with his blade.
I don't think I should skip down the stairs.
You're pretty nimble.
Boss, you just walking
Oh,
behind
yeah,
him.
true.
Look at your just off of sheer
I forgot
dexterity.
about my dexterity. I forgot.
You are very, very light-footed.
I'm more Naruto than my Naruto character.
Yeah. Yes, you are actually.
Please don't jump
I
over
am.
things.
It's kind of scary. What was? I'm actually curious what my dexterity on Ninja part was.
You can figure it out.
It was.
You see Neferani. Do you guys say anything? Do you immediately move up?
Yeah, I would just approach, but I'm making sure that I don't let Ronan run off and bludgeon somebody to death with a sword. I'm steering him like a toddler.
They approach you, Neferani.
You don't steer toddlers. Toddlers steer you.
It's true. You just hold on and go, no!
I have a knife. No.
Yeah.
Favorite meme.
A knife!
Making it about the Pokemon legendary from Sword.
Yeah.
What do you have? A knife!
That is me.
It's the best. You're muted, Misty.
What?
What?
Basically, we're crashing your floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we're here.
I was having a very nice conversation with myself. Sorry.
It's over.
So, y'all come downstairs is basically where we're at.
Yeah. They come to you immediately, and you see that Ronan kind of moves over deftly with his blade in preparation for whatever he can.
All right. So first things first, Ronan, stand over near the stage and just give that guy the eye. Don't kill him yet, please.
What do you mean?
Don't kill.
Why are you putting a time frame on this?
Well,
Why are we killing people?
We're not. I'm just saying yet to help him understand.
Can I get a perception, please, from from Ronan.
Yes. It rolled off of a 20.
Oh, I'll take it. Never mind.
Yeah, you you glance up to Neferani and you're like, yeah, like you're getting ready to. But as you begin to pan over to look at the guy, Farhan's like,
I'll be good, I promise.
Oh, thank God.
he's giving you
Till
that
you
look.
run out of cheese.
So, Donkor's gonna sit down and be like, so, what is this about Jamara?
He's waiting for Jamara.
Ah, I saw you at, what was it again? I remember seeing your face before.
You know, I think I have too, but I don't remember.
I'm sorry, I do not remember your faces. My memory is not what it was.
Do I remember him from being near my kids?
Yeah, you probably would.
So, what? He was at the Pilks that day.
Ah, yes, that's right. I remember.
Yes, I did see to the Pasha.
You tried to walk over there, I think, Abasi, right?
Well, he was by my kids, but you know, the Pilk wasn't very accommodating that day. He did beat the shit out of my dad.
It's
I think that was kind of accommodating.
something that I would believe as well. The Pasha is not a very well-liked individual amidst upper circles.
Yeah. So, you said you saw Jamara, or you were waiting for Jamara. Why?
Well, she found me the day of my arrival, and she stopped my welcoming committee of sorts, those that dance the feather dances. They're a bit of a protector, make sure that I am not to be accosted, and they still lie in wait around this building now. They're not to be seen as such. I wish to not cause much of a scene. But she had told me that she was my daughter, and I did not believe it. I didn't believe it because I haven't been with a woman in very, very long time.
I could tell.
Can
I
you?
was waiting for somebody to make the more of a man joke, but I was like, that's not a bossy.
Bird. No.
So,
Was this rude? Please continue.
but why are you lying in wait now, then?
She left with me something, and I do not believe she was aware as such. She was fairly distraught. She believed that I was actually her father. And in the time that I had met her, I sought someone who could peer beyond. Someone who had more of an understanding with the history of blood. Do you believe in energies, if you will?
What?
Energies. Do you think that places or things hold tantamount energy?
Unfortunately, we're going to have to field this question to the rest of the party because... No, I don't.
Me backpack
Unquestionably. Unquestionably, they do.
I agree.
I think so as well. I do. And she had a picture. She said that it was her mother and that I was her father, but it couldn't be because the woman that I had met was no more than 20 years old, and I have not been with a woman in around 50 or 60 years.
Me neither.
Abasi just surprisingly looks at her and goes,
Well, what?
Only. How old someone appears is not always how old they are.
As I understand, but she left from me very sad on that first day that I'd met her. She threw down the thing she said was the picture. And when I reached down to grab it, it felt close to me strangely, and I sought someone who could test and skew the lines of history and blood. And they said that this was something that was held very dear to their heart. And it slowly came back, I watched them retrace the lines of the picture, and the woman that they were able to redraw was the woman that I last found myself with in love. And I was to marry her, but my father had her put to death. She was not of noble line. She was of a lesser house, in lesser caste. But I loved her with all of my heart. And I was told many years later that she had my child. I did not see this come to fruition. I never met this child. No one had known what to say or speak of it. I just knew that one day someone may come to me expressing that I might be their father. But I didn't know what to make of it, because you must understand, she is much younger. But this here, the man that I spoke with, he assured me that blood is different in all families, and that her blood was the same as mine. And while I do not understand, I actually believe that she is my daughter. So I was waiting here. I was waiting to see her return so that I might express my apologies for turning her away.
There is some bad news on that front. If you hope to see her here, she has not been seen for at least a few days. We believe her to be taken, though by whom it is currently unclear.
Well, there's talk of parenting.
Why would they have taken her?
I don't know, but I'm going to step away. All this talk of parenting and love is not something that I'm familiar with, so...
But it's Jamara.
And that's very nice, but unfortunately I don't understand these feelings. It's not my doing. It's not my place. Jamar was taken, Aspis Consortium, whatever. You guys can fill in the rest. I'm going to the bar, grabbing a drink.
Perceptions from the others, except Donkor. Neferani, Abasi, you two immediately see that his head kind of... It pauses when he says the consortium. It draws his attention, at least even for a moment.
Abasi found it weirder that was Donkor's reaction to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were perceiving.
The man pauses for a moment. Did he... Well, whom might have her? Are you aware?
Is this one I'm allowed to tell things to?
Yes.
All right, well, then, yeah, Jamara got kidnapped. It's probably the Aspis Consortium. It could be the Pook. We're trying to figure that out now.
You believe that?
It could be that Pook works for Consortium.
I'm still not buying that one.
He licks his lips for a few moments. The Pasha has Jamara.
I don't think we know exactly who has Jamara, but
someone has Jamara.
We got sent a package with her, a bit of her hair.
Her hair?
Yes.
Go on, tell me more.
Well, it's either that. See, we were sent into the necropolis as one of the teams with Jamara to find out what's going on, and we were approached by the consortium to find a certain artifact for them, and upon finding out that we had been hired, Pasha demanded two things from us. First, that we give him what the consortium wanted, and two, that we give him Jamara. And upon saying, oh, hell to that, Jamara went missing. Now, we assumed that Pook had taken her, but then when we got back, we got her hair and the symbol from the consortium saying we need to talk. And that's weird. So, here's where we are.
I do not believe that the Aspis Consortium has her. I believe that it may be with the Pasha.
Well, it would make sense. She did barbecue a couple of his guards for trying to get a little handsy. You
Can I
are aware
sense
your
motive-
daughter's fire elemental, right?
Go ahead, Blacklight.
Can I sense motive on him disbelieving that the consortium has her?
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
can
to-
try.
Yeah. That's a tell.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's good. You think he immediately knows more than he's letting on.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
This man knows the consortium. I don't say anything though.
Does anybody else try to roll on that at all? You just take it at face value.
I mean, I really don't know Jamara, so I'm also staring down the musician.
Okay.
His whole job is to make sure this one bass player gets the shit kicked out of him tonight.
Yep.
He looks to each of you. Is there any way that I can help? I wish to see her sooner before later. I'm afraid that my life is timed. I'm living on borrowed time, if you will.
Well, to be frank, we might be borrowed time as well. I was a little surprised to see Donkor didn't want to be a part of this conversation, but I would certainly love your help, Neff. Would you like the help of a man who actually doesn't want to kill us for once?
Neferani just looks on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then yes, I would like some help. We are going to talk to the consortium about their order, and from there, we were hoping to get the pook off our backs and get our friend back.
Well, what would you say to the consortium?
Neff, what was your plan? Here's all your shiny battle plans. Please help us with the pook. It wasn't a very well thought out plan so far, but that's where we are at.
I had no help. You're hold on. Are you literally picking apart the plan that I put out there as a starting point that no one really said anything but not that, and then had no other ideas?
Well, it's not. I was just saying it's all we have. It's just not all hot. I'm not a plans guy. I stand in front of the damage. It hits me in the face. And my party smiles. That's all I know at this point in time. I've tried talking to people, but they keep telling me I tell all our secrets away, and that I'm not good with money, and that I should shut up and carry things.
I understand. Well, I believe that there is a dual sense in our purpose, and it is of convenience that I have met you then, as I was sent here to meet a team described as Big Donk Energy.
Unfortunately.
You found them, for better or worse.
Big Donk.
I have been conscripted to find Big Donk Energy to retrieve a series of documents and hand them a stipend of coin.
You work for the consortium.
It's not so much that I work for the consortium, but my father has worked alongside the consortium for many years, and I'm assuming, much like yourselves, that you wish to stay alive long enough, so you operate with them. Am I incorrect in assuming so?
No, but where's the lady that came and we talked to her? I feel like we should talk. I feel like we need her.
Well, the real question is just, how much were you supposed to give us a head?
I was just given a bag. I do not know how much is in it, nor do I honestly care, as I likely have more money than what they offered to pay you.
Well, it wasn't about the value.
Oh,
I was
la-di-da.
using it to see maybe if you were who you said you were. Or
That's a good point.
if
Count
you
it.
were.
You would like me to count the coin?
Yes.
I mean,
Very well. He draws a pouch from his side, and he opens this very small pouch, and inside is platinum pieces.
Ooh.
And as he starts...
Guests.
Pilakka, you notice immediately that time has not been kind to him as much as he is composed for his age. When he starts to count, his hands shake with age.
He brought
Very
platinum, though.
Humility is something that I learned at a very young age, and I understand.
She jests. We are quite sure the consortium can pay us handsomely for what it is we have to offer. If we are to understand, you are the consortium representative, and you want Jamara back, then perhaps you can help us in some way with this Pashapuk problem. Does he also work for a consortium?
Everyone of power, position, notoriety works alongside the consortium. But I digress. It's neither here nor there. You are conscripted and you will work alongside them. You will be paid, and if you refuse to do so, then you miraculously fall
Scared the shit out of me.
ill suddenly.
And what if one conscript of consortium kidnaps the daughter of another conscript of consortium?
I do not understand.
I mean to say, there is now infighting among the consortium's allies. Do they...
The consortium
See
has
that-
no allies. They merely have people that they use regularly.
So it is of no concern to them if Pashapuk disappears, so long as the coin flows.
It might be in their best interest, but it might be in their worst interest as well, as he is a large purveyor of goods that lines their coffers.
And where does it lie in your interest, considering this man presumably has your daughter?
It is within my interest. If all that is said by the seer, then I wish to see her return healthily. If she is an heir to my family name, then I would love to have made up for lost times.
Of course. We shall do our best to return her to you. Any inside knowledge or other assistance that can be provided will make our job much easier.
After you take the coin away from him, he does something strange with his hands, where it looks like it shakes, but you notice that he seems to take his ring finger and his ring finger and middle finger and kind of crush them together. It makes this almost like churned metal, sort of like flipping a lighter. And when this noise, like when it sets off, someone appears. Someone appears at your side, almost unseen. It's a woman, a dancer. She is draped in what you can best assume is hair and pants and a series of light, transparent, rainbow assorted, what looks to be tapestries that kind of hang over her body. It gives her this almost flowing nature. It's a little bizarre to see. But when she moves, there is no sound whatsoever. There isn't the creak of the floorboard. There is no footfall. When the mesh of the material that she is wearing seems to flow, there is no audible sound. But she appears to the side of you and to the side of the man. He leans over and she leans in, and almost like dutifully so, bows to him. He could draw a blade and she would not even question it. He speaks to her, and there is one tilted nod, and she disappears. I have asked one of my privates to watch closely at the Pook's residence, and if she is seen, she will report here. She will speak specifically to you in this guise. Please do not wear robes so that she may identify you quickly.
Very well. We shall eagerly await her return, and the return of your daughter.
He pulls from his opposite side what looks to be another bag. It's a smaller bag. And he seems to pass it your way, since you're speaking at this point for everyone. When do you open it up at all?
I'll take a peek inside.
When you peer inside, it's a bag of gems.
Mm-hmm. Is it No, sorry, go ahead.
This is not much, admittedly, but we travel light when moving from city to city. My personal compound has quite a bit more, but this should be a good start.
Indeed it is. A gracious offer, which we humbly accept. Mr.
Arak.
Mr. Arak. Of course. You may consider us at your employ.
And Pilakka just pockets that.
Sure. I'll give you a cost later. It looks as if, for the time being, that we have lost Jared. Jared had to step away, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and round this out, though, here. Your night, as it comes into a dusky sense, sun begins to fall, and it takes a long while, but everybody knows when this happens. And the parties begin arriving. First, you will see Mad Dog Marn and his dog soldiers. The dogs come inside, and as Farhan describes to them, no, they cannot be in here. Marn grits his teeth and just bears this hideous and horrendous smile back to him, almost in challenge. And the boy, the person that was speaking for him, moves over to the bar and speaks with Farhan before finally Farhan's, fine. And they take to a table. The dogs climb up under the table, and you'll see Mad Dog Marn seemingly nod in your direction. Another party will arrive. You don't seem to make much of them. It's just a party of 4 of them. Mostly human. They take another table, but they wear the same brazen pendant upon each of their shoulders, which marks them as a team that was spoke of at the event as the Crypt Finders. A few more will arrive, but one that takes note. Neferani. A woman arrives. She has a band of misfits with her, but this particular woman is wearing a hat. A hat that you saw at the bank that day. The city of silver and gold.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that spoke to you. She didn't speak to you as an ally, or even neutrally so. She sort of jaunted in jest at the name of your party and wished you the best, but you could hear the sarcasm on her voice. It is almost like a mauve or pink hat with a white feather in its cap. There is, draped around her neck, a pendant of a black and white mask, vaudevillian in style. She's weathered from adventure. The sand has seemingly begun cutting into her leathers. But at the flow of ale, she seems much happier. Her eyes catch yours briefly, before she finally smiles, and she pulls her hat down. The feather will tip. She at least remembers you. And we will pick up next time at the Celebration of Survival, where you will have a chance to speak with the other adventuring groups if you so wish, or you can just pass it on and drink yourselves away for the evening. That'll be entirely up to you, but that's next week. So, thank you guys for watching. We're going to go ahead and do our rounds, make sure that everybody knows where to find us at all times. And we're going to start with the upper right, Neferani.
Hello.
Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me at twitch.tv/Imperial, even though I will always be a girl at heart. I am a variety caster who does a little bit of everything. Did you know that with Twitch, with Amazon Prime, you can sub to your favorite broadcaster like TheBubbernaut for free? You should probably do that. Pick it on up. Press that button.
Or to Imperial.
No. Don't do that. I'm a pretty shit broadcaster, but Bub is amazing.
You're silly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pilakka-Bitakk is played by BlackLightAttack. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Can we actually find you?
No, can't find me. Won't find me. Keep trying. I'm out there somewhere. You're not gonna find me. Please don't find me.
I was gonna say, don't make it a challenge.
Yeah. Perfect. Ronan, as played by Ryu, the madman himself. Tell us about you, buddy. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
I'm RyutheRed. You can find me at twitch.tv/RyutheRed. I'm weak, and I went back to Black Desert because I'm weak. So I play a lot of that now. But I'm glad to be back. Like, they're making good changes, so whatever. I can't complain. Not partnered with the game, by the way. But you guys want to see my goblin live every week, you should probably give Bub all of your subs.
At least on Tuesdays. That's how you get luck rerolls.
On Tuesdays, yeah, because I'm gonna be going ham as soon as we get in the first battle. I'm just letting you guys know. The end. I'm done.
He's got a mad itch, and it's pretty exciting. We got Donkor. What's going on, buddy? What you doing? Where can we find you?
You guys can find me at twitch.tv/JDScientize. I play a variety of games. No, you can just find me on twitch.tv/Kaoiji. I play video games. I talk about stuff. That's really you'll find out if you tune in.
Hey,
until then, you guys
waifus.
until then, you guys can find me here every Tuesday. This is where you should find me, assuming that life isn't like, hey, bro, you could be late, but it's fun. Only here on twitch.tv/TheBubbernaut.
Tuesdays, that's right. And over here, we have Abasi, as played by JDScientize. He's generally doing anything he wants. I know that he's looking forward to WoW, intensely so. I also know that he's looking forward to the release of the Master Chief Collection. He's pretty much going to no-life that the moment that it comes out. But you can find him here on Tuesdays and this coming Thursday, until we likely finish it, Dead Space 3. He's co-oping it with me, which is kind of cool. It's called the Co-op Bro-Op, and, well, he's most likely getting me killed the entire time. And I definitely thought he was going to carry me, but most of the time he's just picking up and throwing boxes at enemies. Yep. Yeah, that's right. And as always, I'm Bub. This is what I do. Tuesday nights, it's Smoke's Mask. Wednesday nights, it's Shackled City. Thursday, right now, I'm doing whatever I'd like to, but I'm working on setting up a Blades in the Dark game. Mondays, I do Squad Ventures with a couple of my best friends. Saturday, I play over on the Roll4 channel, and we're doing Game of Thrones, Riverlands. Kind of awesome. I play a wildling green seer, so I get visions, and then I fucking barbarian it up, cutting people down. It's a lot of fun, but that's what I do about this place, and yeah, a 12-hour stream Friday. Yep, it's going to be a Patreon day. We're going to celebrate the fact that there are at least 90 people that want to keep this stream alive and the dream alive. So come by Friday and pick a game, and, well, we'll try to community play it. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of golf. Guessing there's probably going to be lots of dick and fart jokes, as per my brand. So, come out to it, guys. Love your faces. We're going to get out of here and do an after show. So, see you then. Come back tomorrow. Peace. We're out.